Good morning, YouTube fans. It is Sunday morning, August 20th, 2023 at 9:13 in the morning. 13. Cynthia and I have about 100 million visitors at Camp Xanue for this weekend. Now, although that number might be a little bit exaggerated, we have a lot of people here and it's been a whole lot of fun. So we're going to see what has happened for some of the people that were here Friday and Saturday and the others who showed up just Saturday. Lots to share. So here we go.
Hi, I'm Ron. I came here from Yelm, Washington. I'll start off with Friday night. I arrived here on Friday and we had a night sit Friday night. I asked for a healing. And when I went to bed, I fell asleep, but all of a sudden I was awakened. Actually, I was startled by someone grabbing my leg, like really hard. And if it was softer, I probably wouldn't have been so startled, but I remember opening my mouth trying to scream out, but nothing was coming out. And then it just dissolved. So if it had been softer, I probably would have enjoyed it, but it just startled me. Last night, my only experience was when I went to the hugging jars, and I went to Cantu, and Cantu embraced me, and Matt was giving a play-by-play of what he was seeing. While he was speaking, it was kind of like weird because his voice was like getting carried away. I wasn't hearing it, and I felt like I was in a some kind of like a cocoon type. And I remember my body was starting to do this, and I started feeling weightless. And then when Con 2 was finished, and stood up as Matt was saying it. Oh, the other thing, Matt was seeing above my head a lake with a boat on it. And I've been dreaming of one day having my canoe again and going out into the wilderness, onto a lake and fish and camp, in the midst of nature. And so somehow that appeared, I guess, over my head. At least that's what I'm assuming. I don't know what the image meant. It may be something future. It may have been from the past. We don't know. And that's about it.
Thank you, Ron. Okay, next.
Hi, I'm Linda from Grand Junction, Colorado. We came in on Friday and from Grand Junction, and it was a great time. Everybody was so nice and greeted us so well. And Friday night at the sit, when Matt and Cynthia were up at the wood pile, I saw like a orange and a red at two different times, more like a flashlight, kind of like a short lightning strike. And that was very interesting. And I saw a lot of it looked like twinkle lights. And they said that was probably some Xanue. So. And then Saturday night, the main thing that really got my attention was when this floral scent just went whoosh, and it was very strong but very beautiful. And other than that, when I went to the wood pile, I did hold up my hands and I did feel a tingling in my hands, a kind of a numbness. So I figured that it did touch my hands. Mm-hmm. So, and it's just been an amazing trip.
Cool. Thank you, Linda. And in timeout over here.
Hi, I'm Marcos, Auburn, Washington, a frequent offender here. Last night, I got the floral smell, big time, and I was the last person sitting on my side, so it was over there. I saw a lot going on in my peripheral, and then every time I would turn to look, something else would be going on the other side, and so there's just a lot of movement. I went back to the cot and slept pretty good, which I usually don't. So maybe something was done to me. I'm not sure. I feel good this morning, so that's about it for my first night.
Awesome. Thank you, Marcos. Next.
Hi there, I'm Donna from Cottage Grove, Oregon, and we came in yesterday, and I am a repeat offender, whatever. I was really, really tired because I got up at 3 o'clock and drove here. So we went down to the woodpile before we even started, and the energy was absolutely incredible. It woke me up. It was very, very strong and tingling in my whole body. It was incredible. And we had our chairs in the second row in the corner for the night sit, and I really couldn't see anything. So I was getting smells of flowers, and I was seeing visions of what's going on. I couldn't see anything, but I'm getting the visions. It was incredible. And then I crashed at 11, did not wake up. It was really hot. I had a down jacket on, I didn't care. And they left me a present. I had a basket sitting by my cot. They left me a present, a nice little twig stuck to the basket. So that was pretty cool.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Cheryl from Tenino, Washington. And my first evening here, I was very excited about meeting the Xanue and being here. My first night, I told them, Matt said, just be yourself. And so I told them what I was going through and how nervous I'd been, and my heart, the diastolic was getting too high. And that I would like to learn to calm down and take everything more easily. And so I felt right after I left the hugging bowl at the night sit, I felt like something on my heart was just quiet and calm. It was so beautiful. And so I wanted to see a lot more the next night as we were at the night sit. And when I was there, I did see geometric patterns above some people's heads, like you mentioned, Matt. And then in my experience, when I went up to the hugging bowl, I had 10 years or so before, I had said, I want to be taller. And one of the things Matt was saying about this is, first of all, it was Soraya and Cantu, and that they, I think it was Cantu, put his hands around my head, and I was gaining in height. And I thought, wow, that's really interesting. So that was kind of something from the past, maybe a desire to be taller. But I should have put in, I desire to be younger too. So there, it was beautiful, and then I slept very well last night. So the whole experience, although I haven't had a lot of phenomena happen, I've just gotten a deeper sense of who we are as human beings and our interactions, and to be at peace with myself, and yeah, I feel very healthy and very strong today.
Good. Thank you. Hello.
Hi, I'm Eric, or Herrick, from Everett, Washington. Second time at the camp, first day, first night, and down at the hugging jar, play-by-play, Matt was saying tropical, like a hotel in tropical. Well, my best friend, we were talking, or his fiance was talking about getting married in Hawaii. So maybe that might be the subconscious
Of what was on your mind.
was on my mind.
Yeah.
But down there, I think I'm still timid and tense. I don't feel everything yet. Where I may have to be more relaxed and let it come to me.
Okay.
So I didn't really feel anything because I think I was more tense. So I'm gonna have to open up and be more relaxed and just let it come to me.
Okay.
And that's probably about it.
Thank you. Hello.
Hello, I'm Brandon from Ogden, Utah. We showed up Friday, and first we walked around the trails, and we were hearing stick breaks about 30 foot off the sides of the trail here and there. And at one point we seen a light out in the forest that was not from the direction of the sun, and that was interesting. And Friday night sit, went up to get my hug from Cantu, and felt like he wrapped me with nice energy. And then we went up to the wood pile and put my hands over, and like I was getting touched on the hands by little ones, and that was nice. And then sleeping that night, we had more stick breaks about 30 foot out from where we were sleeping. And Saturday night sit, I got another hug from Cantu, and same thing, he wrapped me with the love energy, but that time I felt when his hands came off of me. And then similar thing at the wood pile again after that, they're just touching our hands. And then but that night we just slept good. There was no stick breaks or anything, it was just quiet and slept really good.
Awesome. Thank you. Hello.
Hi, I'm Jessica from Ogden, Utah.
Wow, that's the same city he's from.
We kind of came together.
Oh.
And yeah, we showed up on Friday, and this is my first time here. And when I went to the hugging jar, as soon as my feet touched the glass, I just felt really strong energy from like my head all the way down to my feet. And it was just like, just tons of energy the whole time I was standing there.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt that the second night also. But the second night I felt like something on my arm was like pushing or something, like tapping my arm,
Mm-hmm.
which was different from the night before. And then the wood pile, I just felt, as soon as I reached my hands over, I just felt tons of energy, and all the way even back to my chair, my hands were still just energy the whole time.
Nice.
So that was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Next.
My name's Danielle. I'm from Aberdeen, Washington.
A little louder.
I came on Friday, and I noticed the rocks were fading in and out.
And the hugging jar rocks? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
and the rocks on the ground.
Okay.
I thought there was someone next to me, but there was nobody next to me, and the rock next to me kept fading in and out.
Huh.
Saturday, before it got really dark, I was down there. I saw a lot of shimmering all around me. When it got dark, I really didn't see that anymore. Lots of energy.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Next.
Hi, I'm Bobby from Battleground, Washington. I got here yesterday afternoon, and at the night sit last night, a bunch of us went down early, and there was a lot of red glow when Zorth and the Council of 12 and Patty showed up. We saw a lot of red glow early last night. When I went to the glow rocks down to see Soraya, I got worked on pretty good last night, and they energized me more than I think I've ever been before. I mean, my whole body just was full of energy. In fact, when I got done and went back to my seat, I was just wiped out and had to leave and go to bed because I was so tired. It had been such an experience. But I think that's how I experienced the Xanue, is through their energy. And I think last night was probably the most energy that I've ever had. And it was a lot. So I really had a great night sit.
Cool. Thank you, Bobby. Next.
Hi, I'm Sharon from Battleground, Washington. I came in on Friday and I was really tired. I had kind of a tough day, working hard before I got here. So I was pretty tired, and I did see some energy out in the woods, some lights, some twinkling lights, and some, but then I got cold because I was so tired, I think, and I just had to go to bed early. So I didn't even get down to the jars or the wood pile, which is disappointing, but I've been here many times, and so I thought, well, and I'll be fine tomorrow night, which was last night. Which takes me to last night. when we got down to the Night City area, I was also seeing the red glow behind the woodpile, and eyes. I kind of twinkled like, you know, they were closing their eyes and opening their eyes behind the woodpile. And but the interesting part was when I went down to Saria at the Hugging Jar, Matt does a play-by-play of what's going on, where they're putting their hands and what colors were turning. And above me, he said he could see, he had a visual of a church, and inside this church there were long rows of pews and also large screen TV. Well, I started going to a new church last fall, and I really, really enjoy it. Always considered myself a Christian, but this whole experience with Xanue has really elevated my spirituality. I'm almost 3/4 of the way through the Bible now, and I read to my local Xanue at home, and they come in to my home, and I read to them almost every night. And I listen to Christian music now, and I never did before. That's the only station I listen to. And so Matt saw this church. He saw the big screen TVs, in which there are 2 in the church, and the row of pews. And so what that told me, and I realized when I got back to my cot, was that because what one knows they all know, that Saria knew about this new church through my locals, who gave her, you know, what one knows they all know. So she knew about the new church that I had started going to, and it's very community-oriented church. They help the homeless, the addicted, have all kinds of outreach, and so it's really a great place, and it just fills my heart. And so for Saria to show that to Matt was awesome. So anyway, that was my evening last night.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello,
Hello.
Mr. Guy with the
Daniel.
armed weapon. Is this right in the middle of your face? Can you move that to the side, please?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bring it
Okay,
down.
there we go.
So, I'm Daniel. I live in Kaysville, Utah. As you can tell, I'm completely blind, unable to see anything, but I have a special way of being able to see our Xanue friends. They show up as glowing figures, and I'll see shoulders, heads. I even got to see distinct features like eyes, a nose, a grin. Just depends on what they are willing to show me, but
And you see that all in your mind's eye?
in my mind's eye.
Okay.
So in the darkness, in my mind's eye, they'll pop up as glowing figures or such.
Okay.
So that's just to explain that. And how is a blind guy able to? Well, there you go. That's how. But got here Friday, and at the night sit went down to the wood pile and picked up on Zorth and his energy right away off to the far left, and I was while I was there, another friend of ours came down, and I pointed out where Zorth was, and they walked over to where he was, and as they're talking to Zorth, I was praying to God to listen to this person and see to their needs and such. And once they had done what they were doing, then I finished my time down at the wood pile. So God bless, hope everything's okay. But the next day, that Saturday morning, after breakfast, everyone was kind of just talking, and I'm sitting in the living area and kind of doing some breathing exercises, meditation kind of things. And all of a sudden, after humming a song, I see off to my right someone going, "Hello," just waving their hand at me. And it was very clear, very distinct, but it also kind of, whoa, I see you, and it brought me out of it. I was like, dang it, I should have asked who that was, but it was a Xanue just saying hello. So that was pretty awesome to get that, in that meditative state. So I need to practice on that more. In the afternoon, I had help going down one of the trails and up to a spot where I sat down and started practicing with an ocarina that I have. I'll play that later tonight. And while I was playing, I was noticing glowing figures, the little ones coming up on me, and footsteps in the brush and movement around me. And so I just kept playing for them, practicing, and they really enjoyed that until I went back. Last night at the night sit, I went down to the wood pile, said hello to Zorth the 12 and Enrith, who was standing right in the middle of everyone, and saying how much of a pleasure and honor it is to meet her. I asked if I could do or basically, may I have this dance, kind of thing. And holding on to the wood pile, I started doing a jig. And so I danced with Enrith, and then afterwards told her thank you and held up my arms, asking if I could get a hug with Zorth's permission. And when I put my hands up, I was getting energy all through my arms and down into my torso. So I got a very special hug from Enrith, and that was pretty awesome. Very, very special. Afterwards, said thank you and went back up. Later went to the hugging jars, and Saria requested that I come to her for a hug. Usually it's guy to Kantu, girls to Saria, and so Saria made the request that I come to her, and so I was able to get a hug from her that night. And as everyone's been saying what they were getting in their little overhead movies, mine was a bed and a bedroom. So I'm not quite sure what that one's about. We'll have to look into that. But that was pretty much. Oh, there was one more. Sorry. I remembered that I had a glowstone from your old property on Top Lane, and it's in my backpack. It had not had any light on it the day.
Mm-hmm.
So at the night sit, I pulled that out and I held my hand down for the little ones to kind of touch with it and see if they could get it to glow. My hand started being squeezed, and I could feel their energy on my hand. And then later, after some pictures were taken, we'll have to see what those came up with. I took the glowstone, showed Teresa Silva and Laura, who were sitting next to me, and they said, yeah, it's glowing now. Faintly, but it's glowing, so.
Interesting.
Gonna try that again tonight, so.
Well, thank you very much.
Yep.
I appreciate that. Now we have a tree peeker. Yeah. Xanue, yes.
My name's Tim Wynn. I'm from the center. I almost got out of this. I forgot all about it. I went and communed with the Xanue this morning a little bit. Last night at the night sit, I went up and got a hug, and it just amazes me how much power and the feeling of love. It's wonderful. This is a wonderful place. I thank Matt and Cindy so much for having everyone up here. You guys are the best hosts that ever were. And come up and try it yourself. It's wonderful.
Thank you. Hello.
Hi, my name is Maria. I came from North Carolina, originally from the Dominican Republic. I live in North Carolina, Lake Norman. This is my first time, and I was both excited and afraid and anxious, and I didn't know what to expect. And I came in on Friday, and everybody is so nice here. The energy is so positive. People are just have good heart. They welcome you. It's smile. So you feel like you know them forever. So I feel like I'm friends with everybody here. And so Friday I went for a walk and I started seeing all these structures and I saw a lot of footprints. So I was taking a note of that. Um, then we had nighttime when we had the sitting down when we go and communicate with them. Um, I could see like sparkles. It was very faint, but because it's very dark, everything's dark. There's no light. So, oh, louder. Okay. So I could see like sparkles, like there on the trees. It's very dark, but I could see sparkles. And I was so nervous to go for a hug. I was like shaking. It was really cold. So I told one of my new friends, Teresa, would you come with me? You know, and you're a kid and you go to school and you're like nervous and you have that friend and it's like, oh, can you come with me? And she's like, yeah, I'll come with you. Because she's done this many times and she knows like it's all love. You don't have to be afraid. And you know, here I go, like a little kid shaking. It's cold, it's dark. I don't know what to expect. My mind is like, oh my God, what's gonna happen here? And I don't know, what am I doing here? My heart is like, it's all love is gonna be okay. My mind is like, girl, what are you doing? Like, this is crazy. But you know, I had my friend. She was holding my hand, and we went. And I was shaking, and I was, you know, nervous and cold. And I just felt this wave of love when she was supposed to be hugging me, right? Because you go there for a hug, and it was just so beautiful. They're like, I just started crying, and I know my mind later is like, oh, I was just probably nervous. Probably that didn't happen. Probably it was in my mind, you know. That was Friday. Then last night, I was the first one that went for the hug by myself. By myself, I was like, I am ready. I know nothing's gonna happen. And I went. I was the first one, and it's very subtle, like how when they touch you, like you really have to pay attention. And I would feel it, and then Matt would say, they're touching your head, and now she's doing this. But before he said it, I was already feeling it. So it was like a perfect match. It was like, oh, okay, oh, so that's them. Oh, okay, that's them. So I had a beautiful healing. I was just filled up with energy. I felt like I was just gonna go, wow, and fly. But with loving and beautiful energy, I felt loved and welcomed. And I was also, when I went back to my seat, I was holding out my hand to the little ones because the little ones were sitting right in front of us in the grass. And I could feel tingling in the tips of my fingers. But yeah, so if you're afraid and you're nervous, that's normal because your head gets in the way. This is an experience that has to be experienced with your heart. You know, just give yourself the chance. Everybody here is friendly. Food is great. They accommodate you. Everybody's friendly. You're gonna feel fine, and this is a beautiful place. It's just come. Give yourself the opportunity to experience something great.
Thank you very much. Hello.
Hi there. My name is June, and I'm from Everett, Washington, and I now live in Tulalip. And I live in a area that isn't, really crowded. It's peaceful there. And I didn't know what to expect because this is my first time here. And I heard about this camp through family members. I'm a nervous person. I don't really relax a lot. But since I got here, it's been so peaceful. And everything is peaceful here, it seems. It's beautiful. The people that I've met, everyone is just so friendly and courteous, and I really would look forward to coming here and staying longer even. You know, just yeah, it's very, very relaxing. I haven't had any really unusual experiences here. I've seen things like I've seen lights in the forest. I've seen people that have gone to the hugging jars that kind of glow. I can actually see the light changing around them.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't felt this touching feeling thing yet, but I have felt energy. But because it's not a nervous energy, it's kind of a peaceful energy. It's unusual for me. So what I'm doing is looking forward to coming back again. Thank you.
Good. Thank you. We look forward to having you back, including that family member too. Kinda. Anyway. Hi.
Hi, I'm Edward. I'm from Tenino, Washington, and I learned about Camp Xanue from a friend who was kind of describing the experience that people have when they come to Camp Xanue. And I really had very few experiences with the forest people in my life. I had one experience that I can attribute to that now in hindsight. But that started us on our journey of reading the books and watching the videos and qualifying for coming here, because it seemed like a new experience and a chance to open my mind to new realities. And so I'm a beginner here. I came and have been here Friday night and Saturday night. I would say Friday night was fairly low key. I heard some tree popping at different occasions throughout kind of the evening and late afternoon. I haven't really seen the Xanue yet as such, but all the descriptions of having the adolescents, for instance, behind the wood pile, Cantu and the hug, and having the young ones before us in the night sit. When you put your hands out to give them the opportunity to touch you, and you invite them to touch you and engage with you, energy just comes, and you feel the tingling, and you know the presence is there. And that was probably the most of what happened for me, was feeling that energy on Friday night. And Saturday night was much more enhanced. I think people have been describing it. Matt was gracious enough to give us a blow-by-blow on what was happening during the hugs. And I could feel when I went down to get a hug from Cantu of energy when he put a hand on one side of my head, and then he moved his other hand up. And Matt was explaining now both his hands are on your head. The sense of ease that came from me was a heightening of energy that was very pronounced, and I would say I'm still feeling it today. My energy level is very high. I just feel alive and active, perhaps to a greater degree than I've ever known, and that has been profound for me. And last night when I was sleeping, I can't say that I was visited per se, but in the middle of the night I was awake and I was just kind of listening, and I heard a very solid thump, which sounded very much like a footstep, but just one, and a big thump. And then about a minute later, a stick broke, crack, but just one stick, and that was it. And I thought, they've been here, they visited us, and we're blessed by that. So this whole experience, people have explained the camaraderie that exists here, the friendship people have, the ease that it is to talk to somebody, just to walk up to somebody and begin a conversation. As you know in our hearing, everybody has their own story, and they're all very interesting, and they're all enlightening. And it's just been a wonderful journey. So thank you, Matt, for being the facilitator, number 13. You're helping us a lot, and thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. And now the other family member.
I'm the other family member. My name's George. I'm from Port Orchard, Washington. And hearing everybody's stories, it's true. You feel the love when you come here, and I think our world could use a lot more of that right now. But that's what I like about here is meet new people and old friends, and I really have a great time. So we got here yesterday, and let's see, when we got to the night sit, I heard singing and the drums. I think that was Maria, which was beautiful and felt great. And then also someone was singing at the woodpile. I don't know. Oh, Pam. Oh, that was beautiful, by the way. So, just great experiences with the people here. I didn't see anything particular or experience anything last night. I'm sure I will today. But having a great time here at Camp Xanue.
Okay.
And thank you, Matt and Cynthia, for having us. It's great. So.
Yeah, you're welcome, and thank you for being here. Back in the cheap seats, I'll be getting to you at the end. Okay?
What?
Yeah, sorry. Hey, I'm saving the best for last, right? Okay, there we go. Okay, hi.
Hi, Josh from Tumwater, Washington. Been here a number of times. It's always great being here. Lovely people, very relaxing. Let's see, so we arrived on Friday. Friday night at the night sit, there was a lot of energy. I was seeing energy flowing in from all around me and orbs zipping by and all sorts of stuff, more than I usually see. And so that was interesting. I didn't see a lot, and I saw, twinkle lights and various energy and stuff, but nothing real out of the ordinary for me anyways on Friday night. And I did, when I went to the Hugging Jars, felt energy from Cantu, which was great. And let's see, Saturday night, I was seeing at the night sit out again. I was seeing some of the same things Matt was seeing with geometric shapes, which I hadn't really seen before, and just energy around people at the Hugging Jars in general, as well as various lights and things in the forest. I didn't see the energy as intense as I had the previous night. That doesn't mean it wasn't there. I just didn't see it. Anyways, you should come out and check this out. It's really, really special.
Thank you.
And thank you, Matt.
Yep.
Hi, I'm Amy from Tumwater, Washington. This is also my, fourth, fifth time, something like that. And it's wonderful to be here. We love all the people and the camaraderie like that's been mentioned. We came on Friday, and on Friday I also saw just a ton of energy. The energy was in some ways more visible to me Friday than it was last night. But it also, Friday night, I saw two shadow figures run from left to right. They were like really fast. I heard two tree pops and saw a lot of energy. And when Matt was talking about Zorth was just completely lit up on Friday night. Then yesterday, last night, Saturday, I had a Xanue baby. I wasn't seeing as well as I often do, but I could see it kind of in the grass by a glow rock. So I grabbed the glow rock and I put my hand kind of between my two fingers like this, and it was a glow rock that had gone through the lawnmower. So it was broken up.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like this. It wasn't this exact one, but it was kind of like a pearl. And I just put it like this, and it immediately came over, like within 5 seconds of me opening my hand, and was covering it up, but I could really feel the energy going through my hand, and it did, and then it started rolling it around my hand, and I did this for like 15, 20 minutes. I finally got, my hand was like falling asleep. I mean, it was like, it's not the most comfortable position to sit like this, so I was like, thank you. And Matt said he could see the smile on it. I could just occasionally see like the outline, and it was like 3 feet tall, but it was really sweet, and it was really a huge zapping to where like my fingers were tingling for a long time after. So that was really cool. When we went to the woodpile and talked with Enrith, I thanked her because I think for like a lot of people here, Enrith, who Patterson Gimlin named what people call Patty, I said, you know, probably like a lot of us here, that first gave my interest. Seeing that footage in Bigfoot back when I was like a little kid was just like, how can this be faked? I mean, videos were such crap back then, and before they've done all the research. And I said, you know, thank you. You're the one who kind of started probably a lot of us on this journey. And there was like kind of she like lit up a little. So that was pretty cool. And I heard a lot of crunching and whispering, but there's a lot of people here, so I don't know if the whispering was in front or front or behind. And then last night when we went to bed, I'm surprised no one else mentioned it. There was an actual owl hooting really quietly, really peaceful. And then we had a very poor interpretation by an 800-pound owl, and it went at least 5 times. And I would say the 800-pound owl became less owl-like and more, or I don't know. It was just funny. It was like a pathetic interpretation of an owl. And we were, I think there was like 5 of us who heard it at least, and we were kind of laughing about like, and then I think as it realized we were laughing at its interpretation got worse.
Okay. Thank you very much. Hello.
Hi, I'm Pamela from Rainier, Washington, and I've been here many times. I came Friday, helped with setup, and was really tired, so I went to rest and did not participate in the night sit. But while I was over there, where I was, I heard the kids clapping the rocks together, and then I heard later somebody like they were pounding in a stake, a wooden stake, but there was nobody over there. Nothing new. Also, while we were sitting here, I saw a shimmering shape standing behind me. I don't know if he's still there, but he was there. So yesterday...
Still there.
Yeah, thanks. So yesterday when we were at the woodpile, I was so excited that Enrith was here because there was so much love for that being from when I was a kid. And I was like, wow, I'm like a kid in a candy store. I can't wait to go hug her. They sang to her. And then when we came back, I went to sit down. I think I went to sit down and then I went to Saria. And so Ron had already had his reading, which is 100% accurate, I'm going to say, because I'm his best friend. And what Matt was seeing is Ron's long-term dream of having a cabin on a lake with a boat and trees. So I said, that's the future now. And what Matt saw over me is my focus of what I want, of something that's otherworldly. And while he was giving me that reading when I was at Saria, I also heard voices to the left of me talking, whispering. And the people are sitting way back. They were not people. I know that they were the kids and other entities in the bush. And it's so, I keep asking, we want to hear the children laugh like we did at Top Lane. Because when you hear little kids laughing in a forest and there's no babies up at that hour of the night, you know. That is not faked. So it's always a joy to be here. It's always a joy to meet everyone. We all add to each other's lives. I'm always touched by it.
Yep.
Nothing.
Okay. Thank you. That was awesome. Hi.
Hi, I'm Cindy from Royal City, Washington. I've been here many, many times. Backstory, I came in 18 with my husband just to kind of humor him, and now I arrived without him. So I've came a long way. We got here Friday night. We do have a lot of new people here, so what I tend to do when there's new people, I like to just kind of sit back and watch their reactions, so I have not been down for a hug. I did saw a little of the usual twinkling, but not a whole lot is what I've seen in the past. We did go down to the wood pile, and there was a glow rock that kept blinking. So, you know, obviously they were covering it with the energy, and I heard a lot of rustling behind the wood pile. But my medical device was giving me fits, so I was more focused on that than anything else. And then last night when we sat down there, we were going to go early prior to the night sit, but my daughter-in-law got herself in trouble and had to go to the principal's office, so we didn't get down there till night sit time. So we sat down. I remember telling her that, do you feel all that excited energy? I've never felt that quite so much when I first got down there, but there was just like all this excitement in the air. And I'm sure it had to do with Enrith and everybody being here and all the new people. And we did go down to the wood pile. I have not yet gotten a hug. I do plan to get a hug tonight. And we went down there and talked to Enrith, thanked him for letting us be here, of course. And we heard a little rustling, but you know, I hope Enrith didn't leave. I hope she continues for the whole weekend, but that's up to her. But then when I'm down at the night sit, sometimes I'll close my eyes. It's like, okay, I'm not seeing much. Let me close my eyes a minute, maybe like a reset. And when I opened them, it's like from the grassy area back was just a complete white fog. And I was like, well, the fog has settled in, so, you know, I can't see anything else other than this white fog, so I guess we'll go to bed. So I went to bed. And that was it.
And it turns out that the white fog really isn't white fog. It really is what?
It is light energy.
Light energy that looks like fog.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw that up in the mountains coming out of a portal at SOA.
Yeah.
And wind can blow fog, but wind can't blow light. And this fog of light that was coming out of the portal, and it was really windy that night, was not being moved at all. So.
And this fog went literally from the right all the way down the night sit area and all the way back into the trees a little bit.
Huh.
But not like it stopped just past the wood
Right.
pile.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, it's just kind of like here.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's like they'd all gathered together to stand hand in hand or something.
Okay. Thank you. Now the troublemaking daughter-in-law.
My name is Haley. I'm from Moses Lake, Washington. This is my first time here at official camp. We got here on Friday. Friday night I went down to the wood pile, stuck my hand over the side. I immediately felt like some tingling, a little bit of warmth. I too saw the glow rock kind of flickering in and out. And then I went back to my chair and I kind of was just watching people go up to the hugging jars, and I could see a lot of them fading in and out, kind of disappearing. I was also, at one point, I kept asking my mother-in-law, I'm like, who's at the, Saria's jar? And she's like, no one's there. And I'm like, yeah, there is somebody there. And they've been there, but it was a really large, figure. It was kind of like foggy, but white, cloudy. And I could only see the upper part, but I could see the arms and kind of the waist as well. And I saw it for about 15 minutes. I think that's all I saw that night. And then Saturday, when we went out there, the whole ground in front of me was just glowing red, like sparkling red. I never could see much more than that, but it was very distracting. That's all I could focus on was the grass area for a while. And then I think I saw on the right-hand side of the woodpile, there was just big white flashes at one point. I saw 2 of them in a row. And then I also just saw people fading in and out last night. That's all I basically saw. But other than that, it's great company, good food.
Okay. Thank you very much. Hello.
Hi, I'm Laura from Vancouver, Washington, and this is my 6th time being here, and I love coming up here. It's just peaceful and relaxing, and you can kind of get away from the realities of life. And so we came up Friday night and got here just before the night sit, and when I went down, the night sit hadn't quite started, but I was sitting in my chair and looking at Saria's jar, and it was going in and out with the little ones running around and playing, and then I just caught out of the corner of my eye like a shadow figure walking, and I turned my head to see, and of course it vanished, which I'm like, I shouldn't have done that, but it was too late. And so I picked up a glow rock and I was holding it out to the little ones, and I was like, let's play a game. You cover it up, and then they could reappear, and they never did that, but they made my hand disappear and just the glowstone sat there. So they played the reverse of the game that I wanted to play. That's all cool. And
Interesting.
then, that's pretty much all I saw Friday night. I was pretty tired from driving. And then Saturday night, I was late down to the sit area. And so I stumbled over some people trying to get there. Sorry, whoever I tripped on. And I was farther away from the jars and stuff, so I was having a little bit of trouble seeing what was going on over there, so I wasn't noticing any of the prism shapes or the stuff above people's heads. But I went down to get a hug from Soraya, and Matt was doing a play-by-play of what he could see, and a picture of a house with a garage that I could actually park a car in, and stuff popped above in my head area, and I'm actually looking at a new house to buy, so I thought that was kind of cool. And then I went down to see Zorth and Patty and the Council of 12, and just stuck my hands over in the wood pile, and my hands would disappear, and then they'd come back, and so I just thanked them for having come and spending time with us, and looking forward to whatever happens tonight.
Thank you. Now, most of you don't know this, but this is Jim. Him and his daughter Jamie were the first ones to come to our house and do a night sit, for a private night sit. And we had some pretty awesome stuff happen that very first night. But that's not what you're talking about right now. You have 2 minutes or less to share what has happened.
All right, my name is Jim from Warren, Oregon. Got here yesterday noonish. Spent most of the day boring everybody with my stories. Just before dark, I walked down the Coyote Trail, and about halfway down, and I was just standing there to see what I could see, and I noticed the crown of a rock that was almost like it had a what do they call it, Sahara or whatever they call it, and it was lighted up and twinkling. And as I was watching that, an owl came down and swooped right in front of me, and then it got my attention over to the right, quite a ways into the wood. I saw one fern leaf that was just going backwards and forth, and I looking, and it looked like a shape of a little Bigfoot sitting next to it, shaking it, and then it looked like it would lean off, and the leaf would go with it and stop, and then when it came back up, it would go like this. And I watched that for probably 5 minutes, and then it stopped, and then I couldn't see the figure. I didn't know if it was because of the way the sun was making a shadow, or if it was actually a small Bigfoot. But that was really interesting. Went to the night sit, went down and visited the woodpile, thanked Zorth, the Council of 12, and Patty. Saw some rocks glimmering, not a whole lot happening. Went up and went to bed, heard the owls that they were talking about. Coyotes, a lot of coyotes through the night. And this morning I heard a wood pop, not necessarily a knock, but it sounded like it came really deep from inside a tree. It was more of a pop than a knock. And just having a great time. Like everybody says, I want to thank Matt and Cynthia. And I also want to thank all the women that are helping with the dishes and cooking and everything else. They do a wonderful job. Everybody makes you feel at home. We love everybody here.
I'm clapping with one hand.
That's it.
Thank you, Jim. Okay, next.
Hi, I'm Louise, and I'm from Tenino, Washington, and this is my first time at Camp Xanue. And on the first night, we arrived Friday night, and Friday night I could see a lot of flashing lights, white flashing lights, especially up in the trees, and then red flashing lights down further below. when I went up to the hugging jar with Saria, I immediately got a whiff of beautiful flowers. And Matt later told me that Saria was saying hi. So that was neat. And I could feel the energy when she hugged me. I could feel different energy. And when I went to the wood pile and held out my hands, it was kind of very electric, and I couldn't see Zorth. I greeted Zorth and I greeted the council members, and but I can't see them yet, but in the future I hope to. The second night, when I went to the hugging jar, there was more energy, and Matt was wonderfully narrating what was going on, and when she got to my abdominal heart area, I could feel my heart start to beat faster, and the first night I got here I didn't sleep at all, but the second night I just crashed and went right to sleep and had a wonderful sleep in the woods. So I just want to thank, Matt, Saria, and all the women that have been helping out too, cooking and cleaning. Thank you for making all this possible. And everybody here is just so wonderful. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Hello.
Hello, my name is Harley from Grand Junction, Colorado, and we got here early on Friday. And I didn't really know what to expect. I wasn't sure what I was seeing or hearing, and is that real, is that not real? Well, it was real. I seen some orbs in the trees behind the set area, behind the log area, woodpile area, I should call it. And then I seen some red that was above the hugging jars. And I'm going, okay, is that really what I'm seeing, or is that just my imagination? Well, last night I seen, I came here for two reasons. I came here to see if this was real, number one, or is this some kind of mass hallucination, or is this all,
It's the Kool-Aid.
It must be.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to know if this was true, because if it is, it's absolutely changing our whole world. And this world needs a lot of change right now, I'll tell you. But I wanted to experience the energy, and the other reason I came here was to ask for a healing on my back. And when we were sitting there before I went up to the hugging jars, I prayed, and I felt a tingle in my neck. And it lasted maybe 20, 30 seconds, somewhere around there. And then went down to the jars, and I didn't really feel anything there. And I came back, I sat down, and I seen some more things that I couldn't explain. And then I was pretty tired, and when I got up this morning, I don't have any back pain.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yep. And
How long has that been since you haven't had any back pain?
Since I was about 20.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah. Ruptured the first disc in my back when I was 21.
Wow. Okay.
So, I'm almost 70. So, yeah, I was stunned. I slept like a rock.
Wow.
I don't do that.
Huh.
I toss and turn all night. I usually sleep in a chair, recliner.
Yep.
And I am just, I'm waiting to see if it's going to last.
Yep.
I really am.
We'll sleep on a cot in your backyard.
I might.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I sleep like that, I might just be sleeping outside.
Okay.
A good chance.
Thank you.
That's all I got to say.
Okay. Hello.
Hi, I'm Laura from Bremerton, Washington, and I came here to this is my first time, and I really didn't know what to expect. Came in Friday night, just at supper time, and set up our cots, and then went to the night sit, and I didn't see anything that I could identify during the night sit, and I believe Matt said that, you know, it's when everybody leaves that things really bust loose around here. So I stayed at the night sit until everybody left, and I was hoping to see a real cool light show or whatever. And I waited and waited until about 12:15, midnight, sometime in there. I did hear a tree pop within about 50 yards while I was sitting there waiting for the shindig to start. And so nothing was happening, and I was getting really drowsy and a little bit cold, so I headed back to my cot, which is down here by, I think, the pump house. And from my cot, I can see the tree line on the night sit area. So I went down there and went through the whole process of getting it zipped up in my sleeping bag up to my neck and getting cozy. And I looked over to the night sit area, and there was a white orb up in the tree moving around.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh, you know, I missed it by like 15 minutes, or maybe it was waiting until I left or whatever, but it was between, do I get unzipped out of my cozy sleeping bag and go investigate, or do I just watch it from my sleeping bag? I decided to stay in my sleeping bag. So, and funny story, that night I got up to use the porta potties, and I was walking up the driveway with all the glittering rocks, and I looked up and I thought, is that an orb? And I saw this light, and it seemed to be going up and down and across, and I'm like, what is that? And I kept getting closer and closer, and I went down to investigate, and it turned out to be an LED light in their garden on top of a post.
Yes.
And I'm like, no, that's not an orb.
No.
But so that was what I saw my first night, and that was pretty impressive. And then last night, when I went to the night sit, early on, where the wood pile is, you know, you can see the jars, and then you can see kind of see where the wood pile is behind. You can't see the wood pile, but you can see where it would be. It looked like kind of a lightning storm you would see if you were in an airplane flying at night above it, and it was lights going different places, and I saw that happen 5 or 6 times. These white greenish lights just boom. And that's what I saw last night. Then I went to bed. I went to bed early because I was really tired last night, so I missed a lot of the fun.
Cool. See, babe, I told you if you would climb the tree 50 feet off the ground and swing the spotlight around, that somebody would think it was an orb. So it worked. Thumbs up. Okay. Or maybe it was real. Anyway. Okay. Next. Hi.
Hi, I'm Catherine. I'm from Durango, Colorado.
Wow.
But I'm a Washington native.
Okay.
Familiar with the forests here. So it was like kind of coming home. I got here Friday and not knowing what to expect. Went to the night sit. Went to the jars. It was good. And went to bed. I was really tired. Well, I had quite the night. I had asked for healing, and I fell asleep, and I'm probably, I don't know, 2 or 3. Usually I wake up and have to go to the bathroom, but I didn't. I was kind of startled and somebody had pulled my blanket completely off the bed. I was wearing a cap. It's completely pulled off. I didn't realize this till the morning. And I thought, am I freezing to death? Because I had all this tingling here, and then it moved up into my shoulder, and I thought maybe I was just super cold. So that's how my night went, and it stopped. Good day yesterday, and I went again to the jars, and I had a really bad neck ache and asked for healing. By the time I got back to my chair, it was gone. So that was good. And again, exhausted, went to bed. Something really startled me awake last night. I jumped and kind of shouted out, I'm not gonna lie. And my hat had been taken off again. I had a hoodie on, and the blanket, you saw it, was all shoved way off to the side, which was strange. And I had some more tingling, and so this time I knew for sure it wasn't because I was cold, because I had a really heavy blanket on with the same sensations. So that was good. So I hope that was healing that I asked for. So, and it's been wonderful sleeping outside. Really enjoyed that.
Good.
So that's it.
Thank you.
Great listening to the stories.
Good. Thank you very much. Hello.
Hi, I'm Teresa from Vancouver, Washington. This is probably my 10th, and I've lost count how many times I've been up here, so definitely a repeat offender. I came up Friday night, so the first night we came up was actually pretty quiet, but I did get to see quite a bit of that light fog. I walked with Maria to the hugging jars, and I really got to feel that energy that Maria felt, just that really, really calming love and really deep sense of peace. So it was really very nice when Surya put her arms around both of us. And then when we went to the wood pile, I actually saw the glow rock just flashing. So it was very cool to watch that. I was almost very distracting as I was standing there. And then when I went to bed that night, I had kind of like a zapping in my body, like just felt like energy waves started at my feet and straight up my body, and it actually happened twice. And then I fell like hard asleep, and didn't have anything more for that night, except I did hear the tree knock that everybody else heard. Last night, I did see quite a bit of the blinking lights down on the ground, and that's kind of the glow rocks and blinking in and out, and the jars blinking in and out. When people were going to get their hugs, I saw them appearing and disappearing, actually seeing them get taller and waving, so they would kind of completely distort.
Yeah.
And from one, I actually saw spiral shapes coming off. So it was very interesting, the different designs that were coming off people when they were standing at the hugging jars last night. So I think that's about it for me.
Okay. Thank you. So we're moving from Teresa to,
I'm Teresa from Springfield, Oregon.
well, the real Teresa, please stand up. Okay. Okay.
We got here about 10 o'clock on Saturday, and we set up our camp, our cot and our chairs, and we went to the wood pile just to check things out in the jars, because this is our first time here, 4 times at Chehalis. And as soon as we walked down to the woodpile, Donna says, "Oh, they're here." And she turned around and she had this big smile and she said, "Feel the energy?" And I went, all of a sudden it was just like there was this large energy just enveloped both of us, and we were just tingling. And she said, "Oh, look at that." And there on the woodpile, somebody has put a quartz crystal set up on the woodpile, and that comes important. I went back to my cot and I was stretching out, and I started playing some music. And I thought that the little ones might like to hear the music. And as soon as the music ended on that CD, I heard a branch break. And so I thought that they really enjoyed it. So, and then I was laying there with my eyes closed, and I see a lot of visions or orbs within my eyes, like Dan, kind of a third eye thing. And I saw a like black circle with an orange square in the middle of it. And I thought, I don't understand that at all. You better bring that back. And so it just kind of went away. And then at the night sit, Matt said, "There is a juvenile in front of everybody's chair." And so I kind of put that away in my mind. And after I went up to the hugging jars, I was so off balance. I felt like I was going to fall over. And I don't know if it was the glow of the lights was kind of waving. Maybe that's what it was, waving in and out. And it just felt like I told Matt, I said, "I feel like I'm going to fall over." And he said, "Well, just lean back a little bit." And that helped. As soon as I got done with the hugging jars, he said the woodpile is open, so I went down to the woodpile. It helped me. And as soon as I got to the woodpile, I put out my hands, I touched the woodpile, and that quartz crystal was glowing. It just was glowing behind it. And I put my hands on the woodpile, and all of a sudden I started talking to the council and Dorothy and Patty, and I got so emotional. Tears just started coming down. And I've been through a lot this last year. So then I went back to the chair, and I was trying to hear what he was explaining about everybody, what he was seeing. And out of the peripheral, I saw a shadow, and I thought, "Oh yeah," he said there's a juvenile in front of everybody's chair. So I put my hands out, and I thought, I was talking to him, and I said, "You can touch my hands if you want." And all of a sudden, I realized my hands weren't there. I could see the glow rocks on the ground through my hands. I thought, "Wow, that's cool." Went back to the cot, and I thought I saw some juveniles kind of hanging around. They might have thought I was going to play some music again. I went to sleep, and I think it was about 3 or 4 o'clock. I woke up, and I could see twinkles around my cot, and then I fell back asleep. That's about it.
Cool.
It's a great place. I reconnecting with some old friends from shit, meeting some new people. Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. And what did you experience last night? That was kind of boring? Yeah? Okay. We'll get back to you tomorrow then. Saving the best for last, as that might be a little biased assessment, but hello, who are you? Wow, wow, wow.
I am Cynthia. I'm the other half of the team here. Let's see, Friday night I saw the dark figure that Amy saw moving from left to right, probably about this tall, and just a black shadow. At first I thought it was Momo, and then I said no, he'd have to be walking on his hind legs, which would be a little bizarre. That was about it Friday night. Saturday night I got to watch the interaction that Amy was having with the rock moving around on her hand. And then the people far down to our right reported that they were starting to smell a floral scent, and it slowly worked its way down until both you and I, Matt, could smell it. Couldn't really see what was going on with the people at the hugging jars. But that fog that rolled in that was just in the night sit area, I was sitting there looking at that going, this is really interesting. But that was about it for me this weekend.
Yeah.
Other than thank you all. It's always wonderful meeting new people. All of you are fantastic, and thank you for being here.
And we appreciate the help. So, in closing, what they were talking about, standing at the hugging jars, men stand to the left with Cantu, women stand to the right with Saria, and I do the play-by-play. Weird stuff was happening I never saw before. We've been doing this for years, and I was either seeing geometric figures around people's bodies, circles, triangles, squares, rectangles, grid lines, different colors, and then sometimes above people's heads was like a movie screen, and I could see, you know, like a church or a boat on a lake, and all I was doing was just describing what I was seeing. And come to find out later, people have been thinking about those things. House plans. It was really interesting. Now tonight, Zorth has a surprise up his sleeve that he wants me to help set up. I'll need some guys to help me set this up. We're going to do something a little different tonight than our traditional night sit, and everybody else out there in YouTube land, I'm sure you'll hear about it in tomorrow's testimonial video. But for now, you've heard what happened, and everyone here has read the book, they've watched the videos, and the books and the videos inspired them to attend, and hopefully the books and videos will inspire you to attend as well, because Camp Xanue is where connections are made. Connections with the Xanue, with one another, with God, Jesus, the Holy Spirit. Some pretty amazing stuff happens here. And as far as healings are concerned, healings are never guaranteed, just so we're clear about that. Just because you come here does not mean you are guaranteed a healing. But healings happen at Camp Xanue, and you just heard about a few of them. And if you watch the other videos below, you've seen some pretty amazing testimonials about healing as well. So healings are never guaranteed, but they happen. So we want to see you here at Camp Xanue. Thanks for watching. Good morning from Camp Xanue. Have a great day.